But is there one book that you say, well, that's just really something that I could relate to, maybe a specific story?
Well, there's an awful lot of Beckett stuff that I really do relate to. I think the most powerful thing that he's written for me was he's got a book called The Unnameable, which talks about, he has a theory which also comes from philosophy, and it comes from the fact that human beings have a tendency to go on regardless of what happens in their lives. They push on, they always go on. And the conscious mind needs to tell itself stories and invent scenarios because nobody really understands the conscious mind. And in one book, The Unnameable, the narrator of the novel is trying to tell himself everything's all right by constantly telling himself stories. But as the book unfolds, he gets into quite a panic because he's not sure where his life's going to go. He's not sure even if he's alive or dead. And the book ends with the two lines that he goes, "I can't go on, I'll go on." And that to me sums up human nature. Like, how many times do people, what I like about human beings is that they pick themselves up and they carry on. I mean, against unsurmountable odds. And that's what I've always liked in Beckett's writing. Now, in this album we've done, there's a track about that called Enjoy the Struggle. And it came from the fact, in Greek mythology, there was a guy called Sisyphus that was condemned because he had pissed the gods off to roll a stone up a hill all his life. And just as he got to the top, the stone would roll back on him again and he'd have to start all again from the beginning. And people like Beckett and people like Albert Camus saw human existence a bit like this struggle. They thought maybe that's what the Greeks were trying to say in the mythology. But also, what makes us human is the fact that we find things to enjoy this struggle as we go along, and that's how we need to survive and keep ourselves sane.
How do you see it then, live, and then maybe afterwards music, but first live? Is it for you in struggle too, or is it?
Well, living in the West and being, relatively comfortable, I think everyone can have their own little struggles. I'm obviously a lot better off than an awful lot of people that live in the East or people that live in desolated parts of the world, as are most people in the West in a way. But I think everyone, on a personal level, I think it can be a struggle. It can be a struggle just to make yourself not fall into, well, someone like myself, I speak from personal experience, it can be a struggle sometimes not to fall into despair over some things that happen in life. And it can sometimes be with some people who struggle to get out of bed in the morning. But as I've got older and as I've become a family man and as I've become less selfish in my older age, which I'm really happy about, I think I really want to milk what I have in my life, what it is, and all the experiences I have with my family and with the band, I really want to get the most of. So this is a kind of a thought that I keep coming back to, is that no matter what life throws at me or how bad things get, we have to find something to try and get some good and something positive out of what we're given.